things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you very much, Vice President Barr. And would the clerk please take the roll?
Vice President Barr,
Here.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember McCullough,
Present.
Councilmember Donovic,
Here.
Councilmember Jolly,
Present.
Councilmember Toy,
Here.
President McIntyre.
Here, and we have all members of the council with us this evening. And what I feel was officially welcome everyone to the meeting. Welcome to the 1,905th regular meeting of the Livonia City Council. This is a voting meeting. Minutes of this meeting will be approved at the next regular meeting, scheduled to be held on Monday, October 5th, 2020. And we've already taken the roll, and we have all members of the council with us this evening. And at this time, we have the presentation of the minutes for the 1,904th regular meeting of the City Council that was held on September 9th, 2020. Council?
So moved.
I'm sorry, who was that?
I think I moved approval and Kathy seconded, I think.
Barr and Council Member White offered approval. Any comments? All right, with that, Madam Clerk, if you would please take the vote on the approval of the minutes from the 1,904th meeting of September 9th.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Yes.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Yes.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the minutes are approved unanimously, and those were the minutes of this night. And at this time, I have several announcements to make. The first being that we will be holding a public hearing on October 7th, 2020, and this will be conducted via Zoom at 7 p.m. And this is to address petition 2020-07-01-04 submitted by Adams Development, L.L.C. pursuant to section 23.01 of the City of Livonia zoning ordinance number 543 as amended, requesting to rezone the properties at 14416 Harrison Avenue and 28201 Linden Avenue. This is the former Adams Elementary School site located on the south side of Linden between Inkster and Middlebelt Roads in the southeast quarter of section 24 from PL Public Lands to R1 one family residential. I would also like to announce that we have new data this evening on agenda items 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And I will be specifically referencing those items of new data when we reach those agenda items. And that we also would also like to announce that we will have one X item at the conclusion of this evening's meeting, and this is to clean up an issue, kind of a housekeeping issue from the last meeting where a resolution was offered by Mr. Jolly, but we did not vote on it. And in order to move it forward, we need to officially take a vote on it. So those are my announcements, although I do have two other really special and nice announcements. First is wishing a very happy birthday to our outstanding city treasurer, Linda Scheel, on September 28th. And a very happy birthday to our Director of Economic Development and Planning and many other things, Mr. Mark Termina, who will be celebrating on October 2nd. Council, does anyone else have any announcements they would like to make this evening?
Madam President?
Yes, Vice President Barr.
I think it'd be appropriate just to formally acknowledge that Councilman Donovic is joining us from his deployment with the U.S. Army, and I know that's been made public already, and we passed a resolution or a rule change earlier this year that enables him to continue to fulfill his role as a councilman while he's on duty. But now that he's actually there for an unspecified period of time, I just want to publicly thank you, Rob, for your service to our nation and also for your continued dedication to our city. Pretty exemplary that you can pull off both. So thank you.
Indeed. Councilmember McCullough?
Thank you, Madam President. I just would like to take a quick moment and give a shout out to couple new hires that the city brought on. The first would be LaShawn Thomas for the Legislative Affairs Director. She was a former advocacy analyst at Trinity Health in Livonia. She's got a great resume, bachelor's degree from West Virginia University. We also have Mr. Josh Sabo, served as a technical specialist for the economic development since January. He also comes with a vast resume, graduate from U of M. He's also taking over the Director of Community Relations. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to welcome aboard. Congratulations. Looking forward to working with both of you.
Did
Thank
he
you, Madam
say U of M? Did he say U of M, Madam President? Greatest
Yes.
earth, greatest school on earth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember McCullough. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll move on with the introduction of our department heads. And as always, this gets a little bit difficult because I have to do 2 lists to find everyone. But beginning with our city clerk, Susan Nash, our Director of Economic Planning and Development, Mr. Mark Taramina, who, Mark, we're really looking forward to celebrating your birthday with you in a few weeks. Mr. Todd Zelinsik, our city engineer, Mr. Paul Bernier, our city attorney, Ms. Sarah Kaspervich, our administrator, lead administrator in the city council office, taking the place of Judy Preby's portfolio of responsibilities. And let's see, it looks like we have Mr. Varga, the Director of Administrative Services. Let's see, I can see that we have Mr. Doug Moore and Jacob Rushlow representing our Department of Public Works, our City Treasurer, Linda Scheel, Mike Slater, our Finance Director, Robert Jennison, our Fire Department Director of Training, and Sharon Dolmich, our Assistant Treasurer. Those are some department heads and just some other key people that are joining us this evening that I wanted to recognize. Let me see. I believe that our city clerk, Ms. Susan Nash, has an important message for us and for all of the residents of Livonia. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say tomorrow we are going to be taking the largest mailing that we have ever produced here in the city of 31,000 plus ballots to the post office. It has been a huge undertaking. We have been working for weeks. We have been here all weekend. And I would like to make a shout out to all the employees that have come down and helped. This is the first time that we've opened this up, that we put out, civil service helped us and they made a sign up genius and people were coming down for 2-hour blocks. Some did multiples. I'd like to thank Mayor Brosnan and Council President McIntyre. They were doing stuffing today. We have had a lot of people working down there. Everyone from my office just left a few minutes ago. They will be back tomorrow morning well before 8. We worked Saturday, we worked Sunday. If 2016 is any indication, we will be here 7 days a week for the next 6 weeks. So the first round of ballots are going out tomorrow. We will continue to mail as applications come in. And so now to clear up a few things that have been in the press and have been out there. As of Thursday, and it's nothing different, you can come in and request a ballot. Okay, if you have not already requested an absentee ballot. It is not early voting. It is an absentee ballot. There will not be tabulators set up here. You come in, you ask for a ballot, we'll issue you a ballot. It'll be in an envelope. A resident can take it home with them, or they can stay here and vote it here. Either way, when you're done voting, you put it back in the absentee ballot envelope, sign it, and return it back here. We have to have those ballots by 8 o'clock election night. There was a ruling on Friday that we're waiting to get all the technical on that could possibly change some of the timelines. But until I have official from the Bureau of Elections, we're not sure yet. We're going by the old rules right now until we hear differently from the Bureau of Elections and the Secretary of State. So as of Thursday, if anyone wants to come in, if they have not already requested a ballot, they can. But it is an absentee ballot. There will not be any tabulators or scanners set up. And I know there was some confusion. We had a lot of people calling. They thought they were coming in to vote and that they would be able to do that. And that's not how it's going to be. I think that's about it. We are, like I said, this is the largest mailing ever that we've ever had. I can't thank everybody enough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of lifting. It's a lot of carrying. It's been a long day. So thank you.
Madam Clerk, I would just like to say, after having an opportunity to work down there for a little while this afternoon, very impressive. I like to note that anyone who is not part of the clerk's office and hasn't already taken an oath has to take the oath before they're allowed to touch anything. What we're doing is in a very prescribed manner, following very strict protocols and procedures, sending out absentee ballots, which are numbered and have the precinct number and the ballot number on them to the corresponding recipient. So it is a very organized, and I don't know what the right word is, but there's total integrity in the process of how it's done to control the absentee ballots and who's receiving them. But I was extremely impressed, and it's really, it is wonderful, and I think it speaks so highly to our city employees that the room was full today of employees just volunteering to come down and use their own time to do that. So thank you and congratulations, and your team was outstanding. But it is it's a very serious process, and it's not taken lightly, and all appropriate governance is in place, as it always is in your office. So thank you.
It is. Thank you very much, Madam President. I think Councilwoman Toy looks like she has a question.
Yes, I think I see your hand up. Councilwoman Toy.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I don't know when you see hands or don't, so and it's hard. If I may, Madam Clerk, thank you for all your hard work and your staff and everybody else in America. But I do want to ask, when we send out 31,000 absentee ballots, do you get any kind of bulk rate on that as we're sending them out? I know they're a little bit larger than a normal piece of literature, let's say, or an envelope that we may send out normal business size.
Yes. We do qualify for a bulk rate.
Okay, great. So we are saving some dollars on that as well.
Considerable.
Great.
As long as our mailing has at least 200 items. Now, the only way we get bulk rate are pieces that are staying within the city. If they're being mailed, even if the person's mailing address is Northville, we don't get a bulk rate for that. But out of 31,000, I would say probably 29,000 or more are bulk rate. As long as 200 pieces, and we do everything we can to get ourselves to bulk rate price every time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for the clerk regarding absentee ballots? All right, seeing none. At this time, I've already made my announcements. At this time, we move ahead with audience communication, and I'm going to ask our parliamentarian, Councilmember White, if she would please read the rules regarding audience communication. Councilmember White.
Thank you, Madam President. So the rules of the council are as follows. Members of the public audience at the meeting shall not speak until they are recognized by the chair. Each person recognized by the chair to address the council shall identify himself or herself by name and, if appropriate, group affiliation. A person addressing council on an item on the agenda shall be limited to 2 minutes, unless the period of time is extended by a majority of the council president, and shall be recognized to speak prior to council's consideration of the item. There will be an audience communication section of not more than 30 minutes duration at the beginning of all council regular and study meetings where citizens may address the council. There will also be an audience communication section at the end of all regular and study council meetings where citizens may address council on any matter that is not on the agenda of that meeting. Citizens who wish to expand upon their remarks will be asked to reduce the matter to writing and submit it to the city clerk, and such item may be placed on a future council study session for further consideration. A person addressing council under the audience communications portion of the agenda will be limited to a total of 3 minutes at each study or regular meeting, unless the period of time is extended by a majority of the council present. Again, citizens who wish to expand upon their remarks may submit them in writing. There will also be an audience communication section at the end of all regular and study council meetings where citizens may address council on any matter that is not on the agenda of that meeting. A citizen may address the council once during audience communication. If the citizen has addressed the council during the first audience communication period at the beginning of the meeting, the citizen will not be permitted to address the council again during any audience communication period at the end of the meeting. Anyone addressing the council shall make responsible comments. Personal, impertinent, slanderous, or profane remarks are not permitted, and anyone causing a breach of the peace may be removed from the council meeting. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. And you will serve as the timekeeper, and you will let folks know when they have 30 seconds left, correct?
Correct.
All right. And with that, we go to audience, and it looks like we have someone by the name of Reno Kassar. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And good evening. Oh, let's see. Trying to. Sometimes this unmute button is a little bit difficult to.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Good evening.
Okay, hi. Hello, I'm Reno Kassar, and I spoke to you last month about my noise nuisance complaint at Mendelson Kornblum. I would like to update you on that complaint. Dan Cresco has fixed the high-frequency noise problem. He had maintenance done on the MRI trailer, so I don't hear the high-frequency noise with my windows shut. With my windows open, I still hear the MRI trailer running, so we still have a problem. To give you an example of the noise problem without the MRI trailer there, during our quarantine, my daughter lost electricity at her house and came over to my house so she could work. She went to my Florida room to work. Her work associates said that they could not hear her because of the background noise. That was with the MRI trailer not there. That was just the exhaust vent. On August 11th, Dan Bahadra called me and said Dan Cresco and him have agreed to extend the trailer well by 10 feet and reroute the exhaust vent to the side of the building. A couple weeks later, I called Dan Bahadra to ask him when I can expect the work to start. He told me to call Dan Cresco to find out about the time schedule for when the work will be done. Dan Cresco has since called me, and the work on the trailer well and the rerouting of the exhaust vent would happen around the 1st of October. I hope it's a step in the right direction of complying with the city's rules and ordinances and my state of mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kassar, for the update. And I guess it's encouraging that part of the problem has been addressed, but it doesn't sound like all of it has. So we will, I believe Mr. Varga is on the call this evening from the Director of Administrative Services, and we will be circling back with Mr. Varga and the administration for follow-up on this item. So thank you, and thank you for taking the time to call in. All right, looks like we have another individual, another person, Connie Dickey. Let's see, once again, there we go. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Connie Dickey, and I live on Rayburn, which is by Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And tonight, I was just wondering if the council will be addressing updates on what they're looking into so far. We've had a rough 2 weeks of major yelling. We have 3 of us neighbors have filed a disturbing the peace, and that's out there. We also have been meeting with traffic control for signs to help the safety of our street. And I was just wondering where we're at if anybody's looking into it and what's going on.
Ms. Dickey, I know that it's being addressed on numerous fronts, including the signs you mentioned and looking at the ordinances. I do not have a consolidated comprehensive report of where we are. I know there's been some back and forth. Some residents are objecting to the placement of the signs. I don't know if anyone anyone from the administration wishes to address this tonight. If not, we will ask that the administration provide an update for the residents at the next meeting or communicate with you through another channel.
Okay, well, we went out as a neighborhood and we received very well, with cooperation and signatures on a petition for the signs. And we have turned the petitions in.
Okay. All right, thank you. And I thank you for taking the time to call in tonight. Thank you for remaining engaged. And we will be happy to make sure that you receive an update either at or prior to the next meeting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we have Dina, and I can't see Dina's last name. All right, there we go.
Hello.
Good evening, Dina.
Hi, my name is Dina Hallis. I also live on Rayburn. And I actually wanted to address, there is a specific law in section 706 that clearly states that a driver shall not honk their horn, that it is actually against the law for them to do that. And this is all that we get all day long when the protesters are here in front of Planned Parenthood. So I actually wanted to address, the question is, how come it's allowed for the police officers to come? The protesters have specific signs that say honk for life, and they're not getting any type of violations. They're not getting any tickets. So I actually just wanted to address that. And there's also a set of picketing rules that the Livonia Police Station has given to them that I feel nobody is following. Number 3 says loud noises, including the use of PA systems, radios, horns, yelling, etc., are prohibited, and nobody is getting any type of tickets. Nothing is happening. So I'm just wondering, how can we address that? And that's, pretty much it.
Well, thank you for your call. Thank you for sharing and being engaged, and thank you for sharing the particular law sections and rules, the LBD rules about picketing. And I will give you the same response that I gave Ms. Dickey, and that is we will refer this to the administration and ask them either to provide an update at the next council meeting or to respond to the residents who have these concerns through another channel, either at or prior to the next council meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional audience communication? Seeing none, we will move ahead with our agenda, and we move along to reports from the mayor and other city officials. We have a communication from the Department of Finance dated September 2nd, 2020 regarding various financial statements from the city of Livonia for the month ending July 30th, 2020, and it's respectfully suggested that the item listed above be received and placed on file for the information of the council. And at this time, we move ahead to the consent agenda. Items 1 through 8 are listed on the consent agenda. And
Madam President?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Before we go to that, I'd like to request that we remove item number 7 from the consent agenda, please.
All right, we will move item number 7 from the consent agenda. So items 1 through 6 and item number 8 that are listed on the consent agenda are voted on as one item. It does not mean that they are less important than other items on the agenda, but rather that they were determined not to have been controversial in nature when they were taken up at our study meeting or when they were reviewed at our study meeting of September 9th, 2020. So do we have a council? No, do we have action on the consent agenda, which now are items 1 through 6 and item number 8? Uh,
So move.
Mr. Jolly?
I'll second Scott's motion.
Okay, we have support, or we have approval offered by Mr. Barr with support from Councilmember Jolly. Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote on the consent agenda? And again, items 1 through 6 and item number 8.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Yes.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the consent agenda, items 1 through 6 and item number 8 are approved. And at this time, we go back to the item number 7, which was removed from the consent agenda at Vice President Barr's request. And I will read out that item. This is number 7, was a request for a 1-year extension of waiver use approval. This came to us from the Planning Commission regarding petition 2019-05-02-08, submitted by Livonia Healthcare Real Estate, which previously received approval by the City Council on August 26, 2019, to demolish the existing nursing home, St. Jude, and construct a new building in its place for the purpose of operating a nursing and physical rehabilitation facility to be called Mission Point Livonia on the north side of Ann Arbor Trail between Joy Road and Stark Road 34350 Ann Arbor Trail in the southeast quarter of Section 33, and this was Council Resolution 294-19. Council?
Madam President,
Vice President Barr.
I'll move approval for the sake of discussion.
We have support.
Or for the sake of discussion.
Support from Council Member Toy.
Madam President.
Yes, Council Vice President Barr.
Yeah, the reason I'd like to see this move forward, but I just want to clarify the language that was given to us in our attorney notes. Fact of the matter is, as we discussed at the last meeting, the 2019 property taxes for this property, which have been turned over to Wayne County, but they still have not been paid. And the agreement that we had, the letter that we had before that had been agreed to with our city treasurer and our city attorney, had some language in it that I just want to add, make sure it's added to this to clarify, and I'll make that clear now. Let me just pull up the actual language for the attorney notes. Currently, what our attorney notes say is the council is hereby concur in the recommendation of the Planning Commission and does hereby grant the requested extension for a 1-year period subject to compliance with all the conditions set forth in the original waiver use approval and further conditioned upon, and what I would like it to say is further conditioned upon all 2019 property taxes being paid to Wayne County and any future taxes paid timely to the city of Livonia prior to the same being turned over to Wayne County for collection. And so it's the same thing that we had provided to us, except what it's adding in there is the piece about 2019 property taxes being paid to Wayne County. My understanding is that this was the agreement that had been come to, and I think it's important that those taxes be paid as a condition of this moving forward. So I would offer the approval, but just to include that language within what we're approving tonight.
Our city attorney, Mr. Berger, would like to weigh in here.
Would you repeat that real slowly so I can get that down? I wasn't aware of this.
I can, and I could even email it to you when you're done, but Paul, take the language that was given to us, but what I'm adding in is where it says, and further conditioned upon, we just need to add the phrase upon all 2019 property taxes being paid to Wayne County.
Wait.
2019 property taxes being paid to Wayne County and any future taxes paid timely. And then from there on, it's the same as what you have. So I'm just adding in that clause, which is my understanding what we talked about last week. With a broad reading of what was given to us, I think it was probably included, but I know it was important to our city treasurer that piece be included, and I agree with her, so.
Real quickly, so it'll be and further conditioned upon all 2019 property taxes being paid to Wayne County and any future taxes being paid timely.
Correct, and then from there you can take what you had. Yep.
Okay, just make sure I had it correctly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for the slow typing.
It's all right.
I understand you were not hired for your typing, Mr. Bernier.
Or my looks.
All right, any comments from council? Any comments from the audience or any of the attendees? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on item number 7 as with the additional requirements added to it?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the 1-year extension of the waiver use approval is granted subject to the additional stipulations. All right, we move on to the unfinished business part of our agenda. Item number 9 is roll call vote. This is proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances. As amended, this comes from the Department of Law regarding petition 2019-01-03-01 submitted by Nowak and Fraus Engineers on behalf of Smith-Watkins Investment, L.L.C., a request to vacate the existing storm sewer easement located on the northwest corner of Pamco Drive and Merriman Road, 31500 Pamco Drive in the northeast quarter of Section 27. The first reading was given by Council Member Brandon Kritzman on May 8, 2019.
So where is he? No.
Exactly. Councilmember White,
I'll be happy to take up the mantle from Mr. Kritzman, Councilman Kritzman, former Councilman Kritzman, and offer a second reading on this.
all right, thank you. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the roll call vote on this item?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances is approved. Item number 9 is also a roll call amendment. This is a proposed amendment to zoning ordinance number 543 as amended. This comes to us from the Department of Law regarding petition 2020-02-01-02 submitted by Belaggio Homes to rezone the northern 300.62 feet of property located on the north side of 7 Mile Road between Merriman Road and Osmus Avenue, 31670 7 Mile Road in the southeast quarter of Section 3 from RUF, Rural Urban Farm, minimum half acre to R1, 1-family residential, 60 by 120 foot lots. The first reading was given by Councilmember Jim Jolly on July 20th, 2020.
Madam President, I'll offer second reading.
All right, any discussion? All right, let me go to the audience. We have Mr. Michael Hankard. Mr. Hankard?
Yes, can you hear me?
You sure can.
Okay, excellent. Again, I just voice my concerns. This is the rezoning, the official rezoning piece of the point in time, I guess, is what I'm asking first off.
Yes.
Okay. Prior to rezoning, I just asked that, again, a number of the residents have voiced their concerns, and you know, I've lived here for 4 months here, 5 months, 4 or 5 months, and a lot of children in the neighborhood. You open that up, it's going to have more traffic, the wildlife, and just concerns about the rezoning. So just want to voice that one more time before you guys vote.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hankard. Anyone from council or anyone else from the audience?
Madam President,
Member Jolly.
Just to clarify the record here, I think you may have said that this was item 9. It's actually item 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just to clean the record. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, and we have someone from the audience, phone number ending in 5689, who would like to address the council. Good evening. Let's see, again, the sticky unmute button. Good evening, and could you please give us your record and address?
Yes, this is Lisa Ovis on Shrewsbury. Having some phone issues trying to.
Yeah, we're not able to hear you. Would you like to try calling in again?
Can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Any difference now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay. We just want to reiterate the comments that we have been making at every single meeting leading up to this before the final vote. I know the biggest
we just lost you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was somehow muted. So the biggest, argument that you guys had was that this was always intended to be this way. Back when the first Livonia Manor one was built, they did not own the property or even the property on Shrewsbury. Then they bought the property on Shrewsbury, so they owned that, but they still did not own the property in the middle until just recently. So how can you guys approve this and say this was always intended to be when that property was never owned? None of the residents are for this. Family first, this is not is of this neighborhood want. The kids will be impacted, as well as the wildlife that's remaining in the subdivision. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for calling in. Any comments? All right, I would be happy to address that. And I believe when we talked about the streets being connected, it was not a discussion of exactly how that would happen. But I believe in the original plans for that area of the city, the plan was for the streets to be connected. It wasn't comprehended how, and to your point, we didn't know what would happen with the property, but that was always the intention for some point for those to be joined, because they make sense to be joined. So that's my response. I don't know if anyone else would like to comment. All right, anyone else from the audience? Seeing none, we can go ahead and please take the vote, Madam Clerk, on this proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance.
Vice President Barr.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic.
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly.
Aye.
Councilmember Toy.
Councilmember Toy, you're muted. Sorry, aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the amendment to the zoning ordinance is approved. And I'll note with this is I should have noted for this is item number 10, as I should have noted for item number 9. When we have a second reading and there's a vote and it's an affirmative vote to change the code of, or anything in the code of ordinances, it does not become effective until after publication in the newspaper, which in our case is the Livonia Observer. All right, moving on to item number 11. This is a site plan petition. This comes to us from the Planning Commission regarding petition 2020-07-08-05, submitted by Belaggio Homes Incorporated, requesting approval to develop a site condominium Livonia Manor 3, consisting of 4 single-family homes on the south side of 7 Mile Road between Merriman Road and Osmus Avenue, 316707 Mile Road, in the southeast border of Section 3. Council.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Barr.
I'll move approval on this item.
All right, we have support.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Donovan. Any
Madam President,
yes,
just, I know this is the same, you know, the other half of the same item that we just did, number 10, but I'll just, I was hesitating to say this before just because I've communicated with several of these folks via email, so they've heard this, but I will say just again for the record here that it's important to remember what we're dealing with this property is a privately owned piece of property that someone invested their money in, that anybody could have invested their money in, and has sought the city's permission to rezone it and to build 4 new homes here, which are consistent with the other homes around it, and which connects a street that, regardless of what an intent was from a city's perspective, was clearly designed with this in mind. And what we have to look at as a city is does this make sense? Is this compatible with the neighborhood, and does it make sense for the city? And the answer is yeah. I mean, this, when we look at the neighborhood that's resulting from this, it's very consistent with what we see throughout the city, and it's consistent with what one would expect from that neighborhood. So again, private piece of property where a private investor is asking for permission to do this with his property. And I mean, the lot widths are the same as all around it. The property up to this point has been fenced off. It hasn't been accessible to anybody. And from a traffic perspective, we're talking about 4 homes. So yeah, there's going to be a few additional cars there, 4 homes worth of additional cars coming in. So all those things, the concerns have been expressed many times. We've had some back and forth on it, and they have been heard. But for those reasons, that's why I come down on the side of this that I do. I do think it makes sense for the city, and it's perfectly reasonable for the owner of that property has to do this. Thanks.
all right. Anyone else from council before we have a audience member who'd like to speak? Good evening. Again, 5689. Good evening.
Yes, thank you. It's Lisa again. I know in the last meeting we talked about the Livonia 3 is stating that it's going to be the same or similar to the other 2 manors, and we talked about fencing and the chain link fence. So before vote is gone, you guys were going to look into that. The chain link fence is not allowed in either of these 2 condominium associations. So we hope that you're not allowing chain link fencing of any color to be installed or reinstalled and put up, whether it be behind the homes or along the sides of the homes. Be responsible for chain link fencing.
Thank you, Lisa. Councilmember Donovic?
Madam President, if you don't mind, I'd like to take this. In the previous meeting, this item or this topic was brought up about the chain link fence. And if I remember correctly, the petitioner was saying that he would replace the old fence that has been broken and has looked really bad over the years. He was going to replace it with a brand new fence, from my understanding, maybe a black vinyl coated fence, which would actually make everything look a lot nicer back there. But I'm not sure what necessarily happened with that.
I'm going to ask if petitioner is with us, if he would like to address that.
Madam President?
Yes, Vice President Barr.
If the petitioner is with us and wants to weigh in, I'll quickly yield the floor. But as I recall from that discussion, it wasn't an intent to put in a fence. I think what he had said was at one point in the discussion, he had offered that up he had offered up the possibility of doing that if that's what the neighbors wanted. And it was clear that that's not what they wanted. My understanding is there was not going to be a replacement of that fence, that the chain link fence was going away and there would not be. So again, if the petitioner is with us and wants to correct me on that, please do, but that was my understanding. I am quite confident there is not going to be a chain link fence as part of this development.
All right, so Vice President Barr's recollections that there will not be a chain link fence, but that the petitioner had offered it looks like the petitioner would like to address the council and the audience. Good evening, Mr. Soave.
Good evening, council members. I guess as a voice of clarification, I will commit
As a formality, could you give us your name and your address?
Sure. Enrico Soave, 37771 7 Mile Road, Suite C, Livonia.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can say in the affirmative, we will not permit chain link fences of any kind or color in this little development. And the existing chain link fence will be removed prior to the completion of the project.
All right, thank you. All right, we will continue with the audience. Lisa, I think you still had some left. Did you have additional comment to make? Lisa?
No.
Did you have an additional comment to make?
She said no, Madam President.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. Okay, all right, and then we go to Mr. Hankard.
Yes, just a quick comment there, Vice President Barr. The comment that only 4 homes are going up isn't going to create a lot of traffic, but what it does do is it creates a throughway where people can go the other direction, cross through, and more people can come through.
Who's going to come through there?
Aren't lit. Am I still muted?
No.
Okay. All right. And the speeds will not be somebody coming to a dead end street. It will be somebody continuing through. And there are a number of children that are young that are down here and playing outside. So that was the concern also that I have. So it's not necessarily 4 homes. It creates a way where traffic can come through and they're not stopping because they're going to run into a forest. So just that comment.
Thank you, Mr. Hankard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? It looks like perhaps, let's see, Mr. Soave would like to address the council again. No, his hand is down. All right. Anyone else? Council? Anyone else? All right. Then, Madam Clerk, if you would please go ahead and take the vote on item number 11, and this is a site plan petition from Belaggio Homes.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the site plan petition is approved. Thank you. With that, we move on to item number 12. This is an administrative response to Council Resolution 214-20. This comes to us from the Office of the Mayor, and this is the subject matter of the city's current status as to staff training and policies related to diversity, equity, and non-bias practices as they exist now and could exist going forward, and it is respectfully suggested that the item be listed above be received and placed on file for the information of the council. We move on to item number 13, and this is a request to waive the sidewalk requirement. This comes to us from Scott Morgan from Soave Homes for the home to be constructed at 29614. Council? Councilmember McCullough?
Thank you, Madam President. I'll offer an approving resolution.
Second.
We have support from Councilmember Jolly. And Councilmember White, would you like to address this issue?
No, I was going to second that motion.
Okay, I
So
thought
we're
maybe.
good.
All right, any comments from council or anyone in the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would please go ahead and take the vote.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
I said aye. I'm
Aye.
sorry, you did not hear me, I said aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the sidewalk requirement is waived. Item number 14 is a request to waive the sidewalk requirement. This also comes to us from Scott Morgans from Soave Homes for the home to be constructed at 29648 Greenland. Councilmember White, or is that a motion to approve?
Yes, a motion to approve, please.
Second.
Support.
Support. Sorry, Mr. Donovic, Vice President Barr got there first. Any discussion? Seeing none from council or the audience, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on this item?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the sidewalk waiver is approved. Item number 15 is also a request to waive the sidewalk requirement. This comes to us from Scott Morgans from Soave Homes for to be constructed at 14950 Lyons. Council. Mr. McCullough, did you want to offer
Thank you, Madam President. I'll offer an approving resolution.
support from
Second.
Member Jolly?
I think Mr. Donovic's already done it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Second from Councilmember Donovic. Any discussion for the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on item 15?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the sidewalk requirement is waived. Item number 16 is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This comes us from the Department of Law to section 040 of Title 13 regarding Chapter 08, Water Services Rates and Revenues to provide for changes in the water service consumption rates become effective with the first billing on or after October 1st, 2020.
Move approval.
We need a first reading first.
Oh, sorry. I'll offer first reading.
All right, and we do have new data on this item, which, sorry, let me go to my new data on item number 16. And this is a letter to City Council from the Finance Department regarding impacting the factors that impact water and sewer rates. And no, that's the item on that's the new data on that item. Sorry, I'm getting my papers back in order here. And it's actually a communication received from the Director of Finance, yeah, exactly what I said. And it was also from the Chief Accountant regarding the factors and impacting, and we'd just like to request that that item be received and placed on file for the information of the council.
Madam President,
Yes,
is it okay for me to make a quick comment about this?
yes.
On a first, okay.
Well,
With it being a first reading, I wasn't sure if I could.
well, we have a request that the emergency, now I have to go, once again, my papers are out of order, which is my fault. No one else's fault. We have a request that the emergency clause be invoked pursuant to Chapter 4, Section 23 of the city charter, and that the proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances is amended. Department of Law, Section 040 of Title 14, Chapter 08, Water Services, Rates and Revenues, with respect to this item be considered for second reading and roll call vote in accordance with the provisions of the law and city charter. And this is due, just so everyone knows, because these rates need to become effective on October 1st. So that's why we're being asked to give a first and second reading tonight. Council?
Madam President, I'll offer the approval for the emergency clause.
Do we, I'm going to go to Mr. Bernier, who I don't see. I'm going to go to our former city attorney, Kathy White. Do we need a vote on the emergency clause, or we just can invoke it and then someone can offer second reading?
I'm going to ask Mr. Bernier. I can't remember how we've done that.
Mr. Jolly?
Vote.
Oh, there's Mr. Bernier. We need to vote on the emergency clause? Yeah.
You're
Mr.
muted,
Bernier?
Paul.
You're muted.
I was unmuted before that. I muted myself. We need to take a vote whether you're going to invoke the emergency clause and then do the second reading.
Thank you. And so Mr. Barr has offered a motion to invoke the emergency clause. Do we have support?
Support.
Second.
Support from Councilmember White and
Madam President,
yes.
just in relation to this and to the subsequent, somebody needs to mute their computer. I think I'm getting feedback here. Thank you. This and the subsequent items, somebody's got their sound playing. I'm hearing my voice back to me. Okay. This and the subsequent items related to water rates. I'm still hearing that. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll just charge through. I'll try to do this. This and the subsequent things related to water rates. I think it's just worth noting that we're looking at a overall increase to the average user of 2.19%, which we go through this every year, but it's worth noting again how really remarkable it is that it's that low of an increase. Livonia continues to be one of the, if not the lowest water rate of any of our surrounding communities, and the lowest water rate increase of any of our surrounding communities. I believe last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think last year the increase was 0.2%, which was really remarkable, even 2.19% in light of the different things, the large costs that we face throughout the year with our very old water system. I think just reflects a lot of hard work. That being said, this is a topic that I think all of us, no matter how long we've been on council, need to stay on top of. And with that, we're going to have an item later tonight about doing an education session with council again, just to dig into the details of what goes into these water rates. We've done it before. I know I look forward to the refresher. I know we have some new council people that are that I think will really appreciate that. And we've had quite a bit of data provided to us already. But once again, to reiterate, none of us like raising water rates, but considering all of the challenges that we face in this area, to keep them as low as we are, I think reflects a lot of hard work, and I want to thank everybody. Kathleen, you're muted.
Because you were getting feedback, you said. Councilmember Toy.
Thank you. I appreciate the fine colleagues' comments, but there's also another side of the coin, which also says perhaps at some stage other than 2013, we may not have any water increase. That would be enlightening as well. So while I'm not going to argue about this one, I've done that for years. I also think that, you know, there could be some reprieve from any kind of rate increase, would also be refreshing.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, we did not, I think Mr. Barr offered, I'm sorry, I've lost track of where we are. Did we vote on the emergency clause? Okay. Can you please take the vote, Madam Clerk, on invoking the emergency clause?
Vice President Barr?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic?
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the emergency clause is invoked. So would anyone like to offer a second reading?
I'll offer that, Madam President.
Vice President Barr has offered second reading. Do we support? We have support?
Don't need
Support
that.
for sake of support. I'm sorry, second reading. All right, then at this point, we move to the roll call vote.
Madam President, can I make one additional comment on that, please?
Of course.
Just, and I've said this in the past too, but it bears repeating. Also, when we're setting these water rates tonight, it's important to understand that what we're doing is setting the rates to cover the costs of actions that we have already taken with the water system. These costs are there, they need to be paid, and the water rates are set at the point that we have the pass-through revenue to pay costs for actions we've already taken. This is no new action as far as infrastructure or anything tonight. And the consequence of not voting yes on these would be to go into a deficit. So I always want to make that clear to our residents that that's what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barr. All right, so Madam Clerk, would you go ahead, please, and take the roll call vote on the second reading?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the roll call vote is approved. With this, we move on to item number 17. This is also and I should mention that because these are, all three of these are amendments to codes, I shouldn't say all three. Item 16, as is item 17, has to do with amendments to the Livonia Code of Ordinances. So even though the roll call vote was approved, these do not take effect until after publication in the newspaper. Item number 17 is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This comes to us from the Department of Law to section 050 of Title 13, Chapter 08, Water Service Rates and Revenues, to provide changes in the water service consumption rates to become effective with the first billing on or after October 1st, 2020. And I would like to note that we have new data on this. It's respectfully suggested that a communication received from the Director of Finance, the Director of Public Works, and the Chief Accountant dated September 16, 2020, regarding factors impacting water and sewer rates with respect to this item be received and placed on file for the information of the council. Council, do we have someone who wishes to offer first reading? Councilmember McCullough, is that?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd be happy to offer first read.
All right, and then we also have a request to invoke the emergency clause pursuant to Chapter 4, Section 23 of the City Charter, in order to give this a second reading tonight. Councilmember White, are you
So moved.
moving the emergency clause? Do we have support?
Support.
Support from Vice President Barr. Any comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote on invoking the emergency clause?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the emergency clause is invoked. Would anyone like to offer second reading? Councilmember White?
I'll offer second reading.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you go ahead and take the roll call vote on the second reading on the changes to this ordinance?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the roll call vote is affirmative, and this will, the changes in the rates, since the ordinance change will take effect upon publication in the newspaper. That we move on to item 18. This is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This comes from the Department of Law to section 120, chapter 20, Title 13, Chapter 20, Livonia Sewage Disposal System to provide for changes to the sewer disposal and maintenance rates to become effective with the first billing on or after October 1st, 2020. And I'd like to call everyone's attention to new data. It is respectfully suggested that a communication received from the Director of Finance, Director of Public Works, and the Chief Accountant dated September 16, 2020 regarding factors impacting water and sewer rates with respect to this item be received and placed on file for the information of the council. Would someone like to offer first reading on this?
I'll offer first reading.
Councilmember Jelly has offered first reading. And on this, we also have a request to invoke the emergency clause pursuant to Chapter 4, Section 23 of the City Charter, and that the proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances is amended, that we invoke the emergency clause to offer second reading. Do we have support? Moved by Councilmember White.
Second.
Supported by Councilmember Jolly. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please vote on invoking the emergency clause?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the emergency clause is invoked. Would anyone like to offer second reading?
I'll offer second reading.
Councilmember Jolly has offered second reading. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll call vote?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the Code of Ordinance is amended with respect to the rates, and it will take effect after publication in the newspaper. Item number 19 is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This comes to us from the Department of Law regarding Section 30 of Title 13, Chapter 20, Livonia Sewage Disposal System to provide for changes to the special rates for designated uses to become effective with the first billing on or after October 1st, 2020. And I would like to call everyone's attention to the fact we have new data. As respectfully suggested, the communication received from the Director of Finance Department, Director of Public Works, and the Chief Accountant dated September 16, 2020, regarding factors impacting water and sewer rates with respect to this item be received and placed on file for the information of the council. Would anyone like to offer first read? Member McCullough?
Madam President.
I'll offer first read.
All right. Councilmember Barr, did you have a comment or no?
Nope.
Okay. All right. This has been requested, respectfully suggested that the emergency clause be invoked. Do we have someone move that we invoke the emergency clause?
I'll invoke the emergency clause.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Barr. Any comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on invoking the emergency clause?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the emergency clause is invoked, allowing us to offer second reading this evening. Would anyone like to offer the second reading tonight?
I'll offer the second reading.
Councilmember Jolly has offered the second reading. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the roll call vote?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the roll call vote is approved. And the Code of Ordinance will be amended as discussed, and it will take effect upon publication in the newspaper. Item number 20 is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinance as amended. This comes to us from the Department of Law regarding section 050 of title, section 050 of Title 13, Chapter 28, industrial waste surcharge to provide for changes in the industrial waste surcharge rate to become effective with the first billing on or after October 1st, 2020. And would like to call everyone's attention to the fact that it's respectfully suggested that a communication received from the Director of Finance, Director of Public Works, and the Chief Accountant dated September 16, 2020, regarding factors impacting waste, water, and sewer rates with respect to this item be received and placed on file for the information of the council. I'd like to offer first read.
Madam President, I'll offer first read.
Councilmember Donovic has offered first reading. It is also respectfully, let's see, requested that the emergency clause be invoked and able to allow us to offer second reading on this. Would anyone like to offer that? Kathy, Councilmember White has moved.
I'll offer.
Support.
Support from Councilmember McCullough. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on invoking the emergency clause for item number 20?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the emergency clause is invoked. Council, would someone like to offer second reading?
So moved. Second reading.
All right, Councilmember Jolly has offered the second reading. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the roll call vote on the second reading?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the second reading is approved. And this ordinance change will become effective upon publication in the newspaper. And with that, we move on to item number 21. This is an application for an industrial facilities exemption certificate. This comes to us from Chad A. Mead, Chief Administrative Officer, Master Ready Produce USA Incorporated, for an expansion of at least 94,000 square feet of their refrigerated warehouse space located at 28700 Plymouth Road, Livonia, 48150. This is in the Industrial Development Overlay District, number 107. The public hearing on this was held on October 31st, 2020. And I'd like to call your attention to the new data. It is respectfully suggested that communication received from the Director of Finance dated September 17th regarding delinquent water bill balances with respect to this item be received and placed on file for the information of the council.
Second.
Councilmember Toy has offered an approving resolution with second from
Jolly.
Member Jolly. Thank you very much. Council, any discussion? All right. Mr. Jolly, I'm sorry. Did you?
I was just going to say, in a case like this, this is a very clear investment in our city in which is not only adding value to the property itself, expanding the property, but it's also expanding the amount of workers who work there. And these are good jobs that provide good opportunity and good benefits and decent wages to people. So it's a lot easier to vote yes on something like this in a circumstance that is providing those greater benefits to the community and employees at large. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other discussion? Councilmember Donovic.
Thank you, Madam President. I too do support this, but is there a clarification on the new data in regards to the past due water bill that was sent to council?
I was informed just before I talked to the attorney and to Matt Gardy about 4 o'clock, 4:15, and they were in the process of paying it electronically, and I was informed by Mr. Termina that it was paid. Is that correct, Mr. Termina?
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Donovic. So to be clear, the delinquent water bills were paid electronically today by Master Nardi. Any other questions? Any comments? Anyone from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you could please go ahead and take the vote on the approval of the industrial facilities exemption certificate.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the certificate is granted. Thank you. And with this, we move on to item number 22. This is a request for the subject of an education session on water rates be placed in the Capital Outlay and Infrastructure Committee for further discussion. This was offered by Council Vice President Scott Barr, and it was the reason was to become, for all of council, to have an opportunity to become educated or re-educated on how annual water rates are determined. Council?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Jolly. Any discussion? Yes, Councilmember Toy.
Thank you. In that discussion, I would hope that we give a long history of the Detroit water and sewer system as well, and not just current. Dating back to Coleman, dating back to Kwame, so that members can understand exactly how it progressed and why your rates are never, never not increased. I think that's very crucial as this city, for its size, studies that kind of an issue. Very deep. There's a lot of literature on that. So I would hope we have a historical perspective as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilmember Jolly.
I always look forward to an opportunity to learn from Councilwoman Toy's experience and knowledge. So I'll look forward to that meeting. Thank you.
All right, very good. I think we all will. Any other comments? Anyone from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and take the vote on the request for the subject of an education session on water rates?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the subject of water rates will be placed into the Capital Outlay and Infrastructure Committee for further discussion. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules. Council.
Second.
Offered by Toy, supported by Jolly. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote on the motion to suspend the rules?
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the motion carries and the rules are suspended. And we can go on to item X1. And as I mentioned, this is to really clean up an item from the meeting of September 9th. And Mr. Jolly offered a resolution, but I failed to call a vote on it. So this was a request to explore laws regarding the time frame to which citizens are allowed to protest. This was offered by Councilmember Jim Jolly to refer to the Law Department for its report and recommendation.
I'll offer an approving.
Support from, was that Toy?
Yes, it was.
All right. Any discussion?
Madam President, if I may quickly here.
Yes, please.
My reason for requesting this information from the Department of Law is really just for educational purposes. The First Amendment is very important. I know that I'm pretty sure that nobody here would ever want to infringe on anybody's First Amendment rights. And that's not the purpose of doing this in any way. It's really to educate us. We do find people are demonstrating, they are using their activism, and sometimes protesting things. I want to make sure that we as a council and as a city are aware of the rules that may exist in our own ordinances. So when we do hear from residents who may have issues with demonstrators, protesters, or activists in some way, that we are able to respond accordingly and appropriately. while keeping in mind their First Amendment rights. So really here, there's no, I'm not seeking to create laws or have any kind of situation come out of this where we are looking at restricting anything at all. It's really just a feedback of what current laws exist so that we're aware and we can handle them appropriately and protect people's rights, really. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Jolly. Anyone else? Anyone from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would go ahead and please take the vote on this.
Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye, and the motion carries, and this item will be referred to the Law Department for its report and recommendation. This time, we go back to our regular rules.
Madam President,
Yes, Vice President Barr.
so we're getting ready, I think we're getting ready to go on audience communication now, right? So I just want to slip this in here. At our last meeting, I'd asked the administration for recommended ordinance language pertaining to a proposed restructuring of the city council office. And late last week, we received that recommendation. I'd like to offer a resolution to refer to the committee of the whole, the subject to the organization of the Department of Legislative Affairs.
We have support.
I'll support for purposes of discussion.
Support from Councilmember White. Any discussion?
I guess I kind of said my discussion before I did the resolution, sorry.
Any comments? Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote on Mr. Barr's resolution to offer this item to Committee of the Whole, or to refer this item to Committee of the Whole?
He's muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. Vice President Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough,
No.
Councilmember Donovic,
Aye.
Councilmember Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Toy,
Aye.
President McIntyre.
Aye. And the motion carries, so we have a resolution that will refer that item to the Committee of the Whole. Thank you. All right, with this, we go back to audience communication. If there are any members of the audience who would like to speak to us who did not have an opportunity to do so during the first audience communication session, now is an opportunity to do so. Good evening to Beth Bailey.
Hi, thank you very much. I was on the call last session, so I wanted to chime in again with regard to the question that we've been asking about racism and whether racism is something that lives within us or outside of us. And in reality, it's both. The way that we feel changes how we interact with the world and the structures we build. And the structures are both physical spaces we occupy and the societies we create. When we come from a place of love, we create a world that reflects that love. When we come from a place of exclusion, we create a world that reflects that exclusion. Livonia's population is overwhelmingly white, a demographic makeup that reflects and is the direct result of exclusionary racist policies. This is a problem created by policy that can only be solved by policy. There is no neutral option here. The policy solutions that are needed can only be created and reached through the mobilization of city resources and expertise made possible through the declaration of racism as a public health crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. All right, we go on next to Black Lives Matter, and I'll ask you to please give us your name and your address.
Hi, this is Anna Kragel. I'm not going to give you my address. So I just wanted to read a really short poem as my statement today by John Donne, and it goes, "No man is an island entire of itself. Each is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less. as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thine own or of thine friends were. Each man's death diminishes me, for I am involved in mankind. Therefore, send not to know, for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Thank you.
All right, with that, we go on to Amanda Marie. Good evening, and if you could give us your name and your address, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amanda Chrysler. I am going to read from an article that I was recently sent by another person doing activism work in Livonia, and it is from 2011. And in 2011, Livonia topped the list of worst cities for speed traps. The list was released by a National Motorist Association, which is a third-party self-financed organization. And it said that Livonia, Michigan was the worst out of American and Canadian cities for speed traps. The characterization of speed traps is that it regards as revenue generators rather than a tool that serve public safety, which drew an objection from the then police chief. The suburb got about 27.9 speed traps per 100,000 residents. And Windsor, Ontario was second, followed by Orlando, Florida, which are much bigger, much busier cities than Livonia is. So for Livonia to be at the top of the speed trap list, to me, is just proof that there's really no reason for a police department in a quiet little town to be getting so much of the city budget that other parts of the budget are going to begin to suffer when we start to see shortfalls due to COVID. Those are coming. It's going to happen. And if we're sending 43% of the budget to the police department right off the bat, there's not much left for anything else. And if we do see the budget shortfalls, we can't just cut the police's paychecks. So you're going to end up giving them 50% of the budget when the budget is smaller and they claim they need the same amount of money. So I'm just wondering what the plan is for the shortfalls that we're going to be experiencing, and why nobody has raised any question about cutting any money from the police funding when that is the largest piece of the budget.
30 seconds left.
I'll yield my time. Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Seeing no one else who wishes to address the council, I would entertain, yes, Council Member Toy, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Do we have
Support.
support from Brandon McCullough? And can we show 7? Are there any objections? We will show 7 on that. And good evening. Good night. We are adjourned. We will reconvene. It's 8:30 at 8:40 for the study.